Okay, welcome back, Jebel Ali. Now, in this tutorial, we're going to do a little bit similar to what we did in the last tutorial, where we got a winner sprite to display. Do you remember this one here? We got a winner. I've had a little character. So my winner sprite was displayed if I collected all of my apples. Now, what we need to do in this tutorial, is display a new sprite that I've called loser, or I'll call it game over actually. Game over. There's my game over sprite. I've renamed it. So I've designed my sprite already. Now I want it to display, you guessed it, when we lose all of our lives. Now, if you can work out how to code this based on what we did in the last tutorial, you should try it now. Go ahead and see if you can work out how to code it. So if you're still with me and you're had a go, or it's not worked, or you've got no idea, you can watch this little tutorial. It will show you how to do it. So we need to go into the code block. So remember, the code section is up here, and make sure you are on your new game over sprite. So I'm clicking on code. Now, again, like we did in the last tutorial, we need to make sure, obviously, our game over sprite is not displayed when we start. So we need to go to event, and that green flag will enable us to hide our sprite when the game starts. So when the green flag is clicked, if you remember, we went to looks and we used the hide block. So that will enable our block to hide. And now again, we need to forever check this time if our lives have reached 0. So our forever loop is just here. So we're forever checking if, so we need an if statement. And again, we need an operator because we're comparing our live score. We're checking if it's 0. So we go to operators and we want equals to. Okay, so we're checking if our lives have reached what number. Can you remember? So yeah, 0. So we want the 0 in here. And then in the other section, we want the lives variable. So again, go to variables down here. Click on there. This time we could drag the lives lives variable, and that will go into the condition in our if statement. So our condition is if lives equals 0. So if lives do equal 0, what do we need to do? We need to display the game over variable. So we need to make sure we go to our looks. So remember, looks is up here. Looks is here. Click on there. And instead of hide, again, we need to show. And we drop our show inside the mouth of our if statement. And then our if statement will go inside our forever loop because it needs to forever check if. And then if our lives are 0, what has happened in the game? The game is over. So we need to stop all of our code from running because the game has completed. So we go to control and we're looking for the stop all block, which is just here. And that you need to make sure goes inside the mouth of your if loop, if block, sorry, and below your show. And now, when I test that in full screen, press my green flag, I'm going to lose all my lives. So I'm going to bump into a dinosaur. That's 1 life gone. I'm down to 2, and I've down to 1, and there you go. Oh, it's not actually gone into the center very well. Actually, I can do something with that. If I stop my code and go back into my code, what I can do is to the center of the screen. Now, if you remember, my variables are x and y, and x0 and xy is basically in the middle of the stage. So if I click on motion and go to, okay, now if I set these both to 0, this should set my sprite in the middle of the stage. If I put that below my show, so the first thing it will do is center it, and then it will show. Let's try that. So I press my green flag. I'll test that again. Let's try that. I lose a life. I lose a second life. Final one, and there you go. My sprite fits perfectly because I added the go to 0 and go to y, which is right in the middle of the stage. Try that and see if you can display your game over when you lose all your lives. Take care and see you soon.